Now, how do you make this? Suppose somebody's been at Terrebonne for 30 years.
They ain't going anywhere. Excuse my poor grammar.
Okay. How do you, where do you, that's a key issue. Where do you draw the line? Or what's the protocol for that? Explain that. Educate me on that.
For example, if you, RIF is blind, it goes total seniority. Okay. And you RIF within job categories. If you say you're going to RIF, let me go back to my bricklayer analogy because I don't want to use another one because somebody will draw.
And it could be any category you choose. Or
it can be any category we choose. And we would choose.
Could be math. Math could be the bricklayer.
Could be.
Okay.
Won't be.
Right.
It could be.
I'm just saying could be. Okay.
It could be the bricklayer, but if you had 180 bricklayers in the district and they are scattered at all the different locations, and you decide I need to reduce that number to 160, it's very simple. You go 1 through 180. The 20 least seniored go. Mm-hmm. Now, what happens with that, what creates a little confusion is one of those most least seniored persons of that 20 might be in a school that has 100 kids in that program. Well, that means you got to take one of the 160 that's left and plug them in there. It doesn't mean that job will go unaddressed.
Right.
You reshuffle the deck after that according to where you have population sufficient to warrant putting a person there.
So once again, RIF and reassignment go hand in hand.
That's correct.
Just to make sure that people are catching on to that.
You will do, reassignment will occur every year because of staffing, but then you will do RIF, and then you will do reassignment after you RIF, and that sometimes a person in a job that is RIFed, their seniority will outrank. So it's totally driven by the total number of years you're employed. That makes it easy, quite honestly.
I was about to say.
You know, it makes it easily. There's even a tie-breaking process for people who have the exact same. There's even a tie-breaking process. Like I said at the beginning of the program, RIF is fairly simplistic in following the rules. It's very painful to do.
Wow. So you're going to have what's the next step for you? What's your week going to be like the next week? Well, how's the process going to get started?
Well, you know, the process has already started. And I have been doing financial simulations for weeks.
Okay.
It became obvious to me there's no magic here. I got a RIF.
There's no easy scenario to get you out of it.
There is no other financial solution. If I stop spending money on everything else, I still don't have enough money to support the number of employees we have. And by the way, we're not spending money on anything that's not absolutely essential. Lights, diesel fuel, those types of things. We're being very, very austere in our spending, and have been for a year.
I might have missed it. How many teachers did you say you think are going to be affected? Because I've heard that number fluctuate so much.
You know, certified teachers, I think practically none. And I don't want to say none, but certified teachers, I'm not anticipating very, very little of that, of a certified teacher.
But I guess my question, how many uncertified? Do you have a number on how many?
I'm thinking about 120, 130.
Okay. All right.
That's ballpark. Now, you know, that could fluctuate up or down.
Right.
Because, you know, as we really start putting the pencil to the budget, the more money you got to get to balance your budget, the more RIF you got to do. You know, that's the unfortunate part. I wish there was another way. As I told the board last night, no one in this room wants to RIF, especially me.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. Anything we missed that any other scenario that teachers are out there concerned about that you would like to address? Because we've tried to hit different things, but I guess there's a million different scenarios. Anything we missed?
Well, the only thing that I would want to clarify one more time is that what seems to be the most confusion is not every teacher is going to be sitting in the same classroom doing the same job they're doing today. There is going to be reassignment on that. That's going to happen. RIFing certified teachers, if it happens at all, is going to be very minimal. very minimal, and I'm not anticipating that, but I don't want to say never say never. I'm not anticipating that. So I would like to kind of put that rumor aside. Everybody's worrying about their jobs, and I understand. For most of my life, I worried I needed my job, and everybody needs a job. And I understand the importance of that to a person and to a person's family. The confusion exists, I think, when they say, this job you have no longer exists. You're going to go over here and do this job. That's not RIF. That's reassignment. And actually, reassignment is a requirement that you do all cost-saving measures before you RIF and tell somebody to go home.
So you're not going to teach math at Terrebonne. You might teach English somewhere else?
It's exactly right.
Okay.
It's exactly right.
You know
and,
about a
and this
person.
scenario could happen, Martin. We're going to strive to hang on to our certified teachers. It may be you're a certified teacher, and I'm making up a class that you're not certified for, but that's the only opening that's available. Well, we're going to give that to a certified teacher before we get to somebody not certified at all. So there may be some cases where a certified teacher goes into a job without fully certified for that class, but they are a certified teacher. You know, there will be some of that. Now, again, that always happens. That's not just because of RIF. We have that happening right now, but we're filling primarily with TATs, temporary authority to teach. TATs will largely be replaced if someone's not teaching an area they're certified. They're going to be a certified teacher, perhaps not certified in the subject. There will be some of that, but for the most part, teachers who are certified are going to remain employed.
We appreciate you coming on and just keep us involved in the process, and you're more than welcome anytime to come up and let us know how it's going, and we certainly wish you luck. It's a tough place to be, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it really is. You know, I would totally agree, and I would just like to define the rest of the process just so the public knows.
Absolutely.
We will begin putting together the formal budget, which will incorporate RIF. I will bring the budget back to the board. There will be public hearings on it. The board will modify, amend, add, change, delete as it sees fit. But what I wanted people to understand last night, there was a lot of interested people, and I understand the interest in it. It's certainly warranted as to what is the process. Last night was simply only authorizing me to use RIF. It hasn't approved the RIF plan yet. What's going to be RIFed and how it's going to be RIFed, that still goes before the board.
And that can't linger because you have a school season to get ready for coming up. So it's not like you have a whole lot of time to get this to the board and them approve it.
And I have been talking to surrounding superintendents. We kind of sit around and cry on each other's shoulder.
I figured y'all talk a lot.
We do.
Yeah.
And you know, it's kind of like, well, if you think you got it bad, let me tell you what I got. You know,
you can one up them.
That's happening. You know, this budget crunch is not specific to Terrebonne Parish by any stretch of the imagination. Quite honestly, as bad as ours is, I know of some that are in much more difficult position. But we will get through this, and we will emerge strong, a strong school system. It's going to be a rocky road. I have no illusions of anything other than that, but we'll get there.
I appreciate you coming by, and welcome back anytime. And,
and
also
you,
good news on your granddaughter this morning.
Yes, that was. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
All right.